So as I refer a number of times, there might be a lot of new people, and I just wanted to say a few words that this is a live webcast that we have been doing since January. This is the fourth live webcast and the fifth month, and 1 month we missed, but this is the fourth live webcast. So each of these live webcasts are recorded. It's on online, and some of the materials which goes with it, they are also online, so that you can get from online. So it's very important that you know exactly what's happening here. So for example, one thing is that so you all know, like, all the recorded versions are there, and you can get out of that, and then this particular one will be also recorded, so that whenever you need it, you will be able to download, and this will be continuously going on until end of the year. So this is ongoing thing. It's the whole, as you know, the title is A True Source of Healing, and it's based on, these teachings are based on my upcoming new book, and which is supposed to come out in sometime June, July. And so this particular session here is connected with the communing with the natural elements. So how to retrieve our soul through the connection with the natural elements. So of course, what the natural element is referring to is earth, water, fire, air, space. It's referring to these 5 essential elements. And we all know that without any of these elements, there's no way to survive. So if there's no oxygen, if you don't breathe, within a few minutes, you're gone. If you, like, same thing with the water. If there's no water, it's very difficult to survive. No earth, no space, no fire. So you know that we cannot survive as a human being without these essential element, external element. The same way we cannot survive as a human being or our inner soul without the essence of inner elements. We cannot survive. So the elements are crucial to have connection with. So let's say this way, like in Tibet, as you all know, and when I was visiting in 1986 and 2007, both time, one of the very strong my experiences feeling in Tibet was that Tibetan peoples, their relation to the nature. I give one example, that I was visiting in a nomadic area where my father comes from, and I was trying to take some photos, and it have a tripod, and the tripod was the only reflective material was there, because all the tent is the black tents and yaks and all, there was nothing like this material, metal shining things there. And so, or even my blanket was pretty red. So the nomadic people said, your blanket is too red and your tripod is too reflective. So this will affect our mountain spirits, will be very unhappy here if you do that. So they kind of really take down my tripod and camera because of this reflective quality. So basically, they are so much respectful of the spirits of the nature. They are so much respectful of the nature. It's very much similar to Native Americans also. When I was visiting in Peru, the shamans in Peru, and there was like 7-8 shamans came, and probably if some of you are visiting Sangha in Peru, they know what I'm talking about. That when we were visiting up there, and there were 7-8 shamans there, and we did a ceremony together, and and then they were so beautiful, and they kind of spoke to me. They said, "Oh, our brother fire is inviting you, welcoming you. Our brother water is welcoming you. Our brother air is welcoming you." They went kind of each, not missing any of them, one by one, as if you will miss one, they will be offended. Like a brother fire will be offended because they did not mention it, or somehow. So somehow they were really like just the elements are not just element that we just human use them, but elements are like a human, another entity, another existence, which deserve the same and equal or more respect and honor uh, than as a human being. So basically, it was a really, really beautiful and touching experience for me to see how their relationship with the nature was. Even though, of course, in our Tibetan tradition, and particularly in the Burman tradition, there's a very strong sense of respect and honoring to the nature, and practices and healing practices, working with the nature, particularly in areas of the soul retrieval, working with the nature and nature spirits, because they are the sources of the healing. There's no way, if they're unhappy, if they're angry, if they don't want to help you, there's no way to retrieve any energies or qualities from them. But so there are a lot of ceremonies and rituals and practices how to invite them, connect with them, offer them. If they're angry, how to pacify them, how to make them happy, how to in some degree even how to negotiate with them, like with situations within ransoms, saying, I'm offering you what you need, and you give us the soul that you have taken away from this person who is sick here. So that all those kind of communications are very much there with the nature. So it's so much a sense of respect there. So one thing in the West, what we lack here is I think in some sense, I mean, when I'm saying we, this is my general observation, and of course I am not referring to everybody, not everybody is same, but a majority of the people's relation to the nature is something that we use them, not that they have their own space, entity, and they deserve the same amount of respect and honoring. So we kind of use them. Basically, we use them, we sell them, we buy them. They are nothing more than just buy and sell and use when we need it. And that kind of treatment, even people go to the mountain, they go to the mountain for fun, for sport, for gaining, winning the games, or like Olympic games or something like that, any form of sport, which is very much has to do with commercialize a form of game and winning, and so much competition. That kind of relationship, or even individuals who go there, they go there just to be alone and reflect, but not so much they think the nature itself is somebody there, or nature itself that you can talk to or communicate with, or it can provide you something that you need, or maybe it has more power than what you have, and it can give you something what you need. Not that kind of relationship. So we kind of go into nature in many kind of different ways to relation to the nature. So it's really here it's important to understand nature as like ourselves and more. And particularly in Burman tradition, we say the goddesses of the element. So goddesses of the element, the goddesses, or some degree higher conscious goddesses or enlightened goddesses, that they are directly connected to the nature, and through the nature we can have access to them and communicate with them and retrieve the healing energy and quality from them. So that's kind of understanding. So there's a lot of I think new for some of you probably it's a lot of new kind of concept and new kind of understanding, and probably some of you kind of know already a lot and maybe very familiar with what I'm talking. So I'm kind of just generally speaking, throwing out my thoughts and ideas down there, and so it's like a gambling. So some of you are getting it right, and some of you are thinking, "Oh, I don't know what he's talking about." Some are making sense. Some are maybe curious about it. So let's say this way: we have spoken. So those who are a little bit lost here, it's very possible first time coming here, you might feel a little lost. So I recommend to listen to the previous webcasts, which is recorded online. Look at them. There are some materials up there. Look at them. And as I'm speaking, I think Polly will probably put some PDF file there that probably you can download right away as I'm speaking. So that the charts that what shows the element and its associated qualities that you will learn, you can learn. And so there's many different ways to retrieve our soul energy back, and this particular session is about retrieving the essence of our soul through the nature element. So nature element. So this is what I was doing guided meditation before, because you're living in your area of life, and so it's a very much personal questions. Where you're living, where's your earth, where's your fire, where's your water, or where's your trees are, space is. Where are those natural elements and nearest to you? And of course, it's very important to ask this question. If you have never asked this question, maybe it's a very good thing that you're asking first time. If you don't ask frequent enough, then it's good to ask more frequently. And if you don't reflect, then it's a good time to reflect. Where are they? And how often you go there? If you don't go enough, and absolutely it's important to visit there. So I call it dating with the nature, to have a date. You date with people, you date with so you set a dating with the nature, natural elements. And so so how often you do that, I think later I'm going to talk more about it. At least 3 times a week. I think it's really important to focus, if particularly those you are really trying to follow these live webcasts for the rest of the year. And this month's work and homework or task will be that you visit to those natural elements at least 3 times a week and locate them, visit them. And of course, once you go there, how you visit, how you practice with them, I did explain that a little bit, and maybe we can also put some guidelines and instructions online later in any written materials, so you can kind of download them also, or you can also download the guided meditation as a PDF file that you can listen to, so you don't have to read anything, look at any paper. We can kind of figure out to put all those things up online so you can get them. And also, all of these are free, so you don't, anytime you want to download, they will be available there. So what you do is you connect with earth, water, fire, air, space. As I said during the meditation, a true connection is through which you receive the qualities to heal your soul. So think about like a connection between the mother and the child. Think about a connection, a couple who have spent their whole entire life with themselves. They are in 70s and 80s or 90s together, holding each other's hand. Think about a Zen meditation, a master looking at the wall. It's not looking at the wall, but through the wall through not being distracted with thoughts and emotions, feelings, trying to connect with one's essence. All those connections are healing. Through those connections, we retrieve things. So this is the similar thing, that through connection to the nature, we receive that particular essence of element, because that particular essence of element is you're missing. That particular essence of element is missing in your relationship, your professional life, your in your personal life, and that particular, because of that particular element is missing, also your soul is weakened or lost or damaged, because it affected your soul. So you are some a deeper sense, there is not like it's a full there. And of course, you, when it becomes more severe, like health issues, deep emotional crisis, when they manifest in a more severe level or strong, very strong, then only you recognize, oh, something is happening in me, something I need to change. But it's important to not wait until then. And of course, at least good, even though you recognize when it's happening, you recognize there's some possibility, many possibility, and through the nature is definitely one possibility to heal. So, and probably some of you are wondering, maybe, where does he comes from all of these ideas, all these practices or concept or philosophy? And these old ideas coming from a Burn tradition. They are coming from different areas of the Burn tradition, and they are coming from what we call causal vehicle, Jui Tikpa. We call Languk. Languk means soul retrieval. Senguk means life force retrieval. So it's not retrieval. Soul retrieval is also nowadays a term which has a lot of modern therapy and shamans and practitioners use also this term. But this original term of soul retrieval or calling the soul, it comes from ancient tradition. It's nothing. Nobody have created a new concept. It's an old tradition. People have more elaborated on these terms and made different versions of the practices, and some are obviously okay, and some are not necessarily be recommended to do. So for example, one concept is like in a Dzogchen, in the practice of great perfection in a Dzogchen. Many of you know the practice of sky gazing, for example. And what does that mean? And many high Dzogchen master yogi practitioners, they go up in the mountain, 360-degree view, and they gaze the sky, horizon sky. And when they gaze the sky, of course, they do like a 9 breathing of purification and salung and clearing their channels and channels and chakras. So clearing their tsa and lung, what we call, and then when they are stable enough in their mind, then they just connect with that horizon and connect with that sky. And what they're doing is basically just totally the inner space and outer space merge. That union of outer and inner spaces merge. That union, great union of outer space and inner space merging, what it does, it provides like intense level of experiences of openness into the mind. Like when you go to the desert, even you don't have to be a great yogi practitioner. If you go to Grand Canyon, and if you go up in the canyon and you look down, if you look at and higher in the desert, if you look at New Mexico, you will look at the sky, you know the experience of that space, how direct impact in your heart, in your emotion is there. You know what I'm talking about. So these, in ancient yogis, they have learned these things. They know how the direct non-conceptual exposure to the nature can impact deep psychological, meditative, and spiritual experiences. And so that's why they did. That's why they left these messages and techniques to us. That's why we are doing here, particularly in this, and in the book that I root is the true source of healing, is basically it's talking about that unbounded space, that sacred space, that which can be recognized through outer sky, but which is inside, and connecting with that inner unbounded sacred space where you can find all the essence of the element. And this is, of course, we will talk more in the month of June. So in June, a second Saturday of the June, so it's like a whole day live webcast. Those you don't know, I just wanted to mention that. And then maybe we can put the slide of the whole year live webcast. And now, as you can see, whole year live webcast, and that each live webcast is a very specific approach or topic that we are going to talk about. And in the June, we are particularly going to talk about the inner refuge, and particularly talk about the inner refuge being the unbounded sacred space, the inner sky or inner space, that is being the source of all the element, the essential element that you can discover within yourself and to heal your soul. So, and in June, not only that, we also, very exciting news is that, of course, it's wonderful, we have whole day. So I would highly recommend to all of you to just get the date right now, block the time and date, so not have any engagement, and also to gather together with friends, and of course the different Lingmicha Sangha groups. I'm sure different Sangha groups are organizing, gathering together, so just to see where the locations are. And yeah, so we will have whole day sessions of teaching, practice and teaching. And especially this June, what we will have is, we will have not only I'm going to speak, but also a few other teachers will be speaking. So my idea was to invite from other Buddhist schools, since being very busy and not able to kind of contact different people. So at least I have two teachers who are committed, who live. I will be in the Bay Area, so I would like somebody and the teachers who live in the Bay Area. And so one Kaju Lama and one Nyingma Lama, and later we will also give their names and their websites, so you will also know more about them. And I'm hoping maybe now and until then, maybe hopefully maybe one or two more, able to invite one or more teachers. So we're working on it. So that's in June. So now going back to the nature, and so I would strongly recommend to all of you 3 times a week to visit those specific places in the nature. Spend at least half an hour there with if you those nine breathing and Tsalung exercise. Do the nine breathing and Tsalung exercise, and take 3 precious pills that we have spoken earlier. That means the same thing what we did in an early meditation, beginning of meditation: the stillness of the body, silence of the speech, spaciousness of the mind, settling your mind, and then connect with that nature like a mother and a child, and sit in that connection as long as you can. And whenever you lose the connection, be aware of that and reconnect. This is what I said. You can lose as many times you want. It's okay to lose the connection, but it's not okay to not know you lost the connection. So remember that line. So of course everything is okay. So but if it's not okay, then it's not okay to not be aware of it. So because if you are not aware of it, then very good chance it might take years and years to feel the connecting back. If you're aware of that you're not connected, the opportunity to connect is greater, much greater chances that you will connect sooner because you are interested whenever you disconnect. So that's important part. And so in that connection, so if you're remaining 5-10 minutes, whatever time you're remaining, you know every second of that connection, you are retrieving the essence of that element as a form of energy and light in your body, in your soul, and your soul is recovering every second, every minute of that connection. If the connection is there, if the genuine, open, non-conceptual connection is there, you are clearly retrieving that, and you will know that each visit you are feeling better, and each visit you are feeling more fuller, and each visit your soul is more alive. So clearly you could feel that. So I would strongly recommend to do that homework. And then the other thing is, another form of homework is the formal and informal practices, which always I say formal and informal practices. So formal practices will be visit there 3 times, sit half an hour or 1 hour, whatever amount of time you're able to sit and practice. That's a formal practice. And informal practice will be that you are anytime when you are disconnecting, either, for example, you are sitting by yourself somewhere in the cafe, in the train station, and you are sitting somewhere or doing something, and suddenly you realize you're totally disconnected because of one single thought you have, because one single of task that you're doing, you are disconnected. So when you lose the connection like that, being aware and remembering that you lost the connection and reconnecting it, that particular moment. If you're able to do that particular moment when you're sitting, it's informal, how you say, informal practice, so that you are just sitting somewhere. Or another informal practice will be you go to the work, that every time you meet your boss, you feel disconnected. I hope you don't have a boss like that, but if you do have one boss like that, every time you meet the boss, you feel a little disconnected. So you should be more interested in to be aware of disconnectedness than the boss. Because just forget about the boss that moment. Just be conscious that you're disconnected that moment, because boss just causes that. And you are allowing that. And that pattern is not new. It's 8 years that's happening. Now what you're interested, not boss so much, but you're interested that you can connect. And you're interested that you wanted to be conscious that you're disconnecting. So every time informal practice will be when you meet the boss, when you disconnect, remember and connect. So how many times you're going to do that in a week? Maybe just pick a number, let's say 3. So 3 informal, 3 formal. So informal can be in your personal life, with your profession, even in your relationship with your family. You know, you want to love your family, you want to love your wife, husband, your partner, your children, but there are particular moments it's very difficult to love, it's very difficult to connect, and then that moment, remembering that you just disconnected. You don't have to try to connect, but it's trying to not disconnect that often. Instead of trying to connect and disconnecting, forget about connecting, but be aware of disconnection and trying to less disconnect and just trying to be yourself, not trying to even connect. That will be better than trying to connect, because a disconnected person will have a hard time to connect. And the moment you're disconnected, if you're trying to connect, it's not going to work, and it will be extra work. So don't do extra work. At least, allow yourself to disconnect. It's okay, but just be conscious of that. So informal, being aware on those disconnection, informal situation in the family, just be aware of that. And then during the week, 3 times when you go back to the nature, just remember those informal situations. Oh, I lost my earth. I know I need to heal my soul. I know I miss the earth, and I know how I lose the earth because when I meet the boss every day, 5 days a week. I know a particular moment in my family situation, or when I lose my grounding. Just being aware of all those things, and when you go to the nature, you have more good reason to go to the nature, and more good reason to retrieve from the essence of the earth, to retrieve your earth energy back into you to heal your soul. So I hope this is clear enough for this session.